Well, the good news is this thing runs beautifully on bitumen. The tyres are actually warm after that run. The bad news is I forgot to press record. And I've just run through half a battery here. I'm just going to have to drive again. These tyres have been running for about 8 minutes now, I'd say, 7 or 8 minutes, and we've got wear on the inside more than on the outside, so I do think this camber needs to be brought in somewhat. But otherwise, the car handles really well. Look, I'll just show you. We've already started eating down through the tread as well. And I had one tumble, just one, and that was the mirror popping off. That went on the outside through this little hole here, and this was retained through with a screw on the inside. That's all it was, just one little screw. So nothing actually broke, it just got yoinked out, ran like a boss. Look, I'll show you. It's a 3S battery, but we're now half discharged because, again, I didn't press record. The lights looked good though. I've got a very impatient Lana in the car watching this drive. She really wants to be out here. You're about to see why that's a terrible idea. So while I put this body back on, I'll just thank my channel members, the tier 3 guys, 3rd tier guys, here they are. Thanks so much for your support, people. You are what powers this channel to a fair extent, actually. It helps me to keep making videos of stuff that wasn't sent under sponsorship, because this was purchased at retail. So the car's back together. We're missing a mirror, but that's it. Let me show you what this thing can do, even on a half full 3S battery. It's very fun. All right. I'm a bit behind on these videos, but it's about time we got the HPI WR8 Flux out. This is a very interesting 1/8 scale rally car. My very first question I had was, hey, what's the sizing really like? Because I know this thing has a good name. And gosh, look at that. From any of the HPI models, if it's got Flux in the name, it's brushless. For a quick size comparison, 1/7 scale, looked at this recently, 1/8 scale, 1/10, noticeably smaller, and then a little 1/12, this little Relalo being a magically fun little car. Right, in the world of RC, size is gonna vary. Sometimes it's literally 1/10 of the car, so it's a 10th scale, but other times you'll have something that's designed to run with other 10th scale cars, but it actually has to have the scale messed with. Pick a car. This Land Cruiser here, that's actually a 9th scale, but to make that run with the other 10ths, that's just what they did. There's always scale differences in RC, right? But there's your little 12th scale Relalo on top if you're wondering, and a 10th next to an 8th. There's your size difference. I'll line up the back wheels. Okay, that's enough about the other cars. Let's look at this car. Oh, actually, one last thing. I just looked at this the other day. Well, not too long ago. There's your Charisma 1/10 Rex next to the HPI. The length of the body is different, but the wheelbase is actually the same, I believe. Oh no, the wheelbase on the HPI is very slightly shorter. But different cars are going to be different sizes, aren't they? Right, I think we've covered enough about size. I've got another 1/8 scale rally car here. It just arrived today and it's crazily cheap. We're going to get into that one. Right, this is the HPI WR8 Flux. So this gorgeous little work of art, I'm almost afraid to put power into it. It's based on the Ford Escort Cosworth. Ford Escort RS Cosworth Rally San Remo is the full model name, and it's a stunning little box they've put together. I recycle almost all my boxes, but this just looks like fun. You see that on a shop shelf? How do you walk past that? There's a claim on here of 97 kilometers an hour, or 60 plus, with a 4621 gearing combo and 3S battery. We're going to run 3S in it today. It comes with tarmac tires, which is all well and good if you live in a tarmac area. I don't. So we might have to stick some other tires on, because these are too nice just to use off-road here. They are vented. They've got foam, they've got very stiff sidewalls and a very squared off profile. We've got a nice metal base with a nice little kick up at the front there. Independent suspension all round, of course, and metal axles using dog bones on the inside, and I think dogs on the outside as well. Yes. Oh, they're very well captured. I can't even see the what the axle's doing in there. Yeah, dog bones on all corners. So that's an older design now. You've got the cup with the slots in it and the dog bone sits inside it. I don't know about having that on the front. There's a lot of metal that's moving in and out as you're turning. Still, it's an old design, and if it works, it works. You've got full ability to chassis slap, which is definitely what you want on a car. You don't want the suspension to top out before it can hit, so that's a good sign. We've got a nice little solid foam bumper at the front, which they all should have anyway. Not much in the way of plastic that's going to flex though. This is not a bashing truck like a lot of the short course and trophy trucks and stuff. These are made to be driven like a rally car. They're not made to be driven like a monster truck on steroids. I think when you come into rally, you've got to be prepared to drive like a rally car. You're looking for sweeping corners. You're looking to get around a track as quickly as you can. You're not looking for humongous air. That's probably a good thing to start with. We're not looking to send this thing to the moon. There are some cases where it'll work on jumps, but clearly this beautiful chassis is not designed for that. I've got bright red metallicized sway bars front and rear. They're actually fairly firm too, moderately firm. There's a Hobby Wing 10, I'm going to guess it's a 10, and it is tunable with the Hobby Wing card. Like so many cars, again, this is harking back to some of HPI's older designs and so many others. You've got a very exposed center metal spur and pinion here. I had a quick look at the manual before I turned the camera on. Tell you what, I wish all manuals were like this. It's just beautifully laid out. Oh yeah, and also an interesting little cross wrench that lets you adjust your turnbuckles with the one tool, although having there's not going to be a lot of room for movement. You can actually pop these off. Nice thing about this manual is it's got option parts, stock parts. Oh, and you'll want the option parts, by the way, if you want to change tires. They've got an off-road rally tire, which is similar to the tires that come on on all the other cars actually that I've got here. And also there's a Gymkhana tire that looks kind of like a slick with some wet grooves in it. Interesting. Now, spur and pinion. Okay, so this comes with the gearing out of the box to do 100 kilometers an hour. Wow. 3 diffs. You can see the middle diff is right here. And you can tell it's got a middle diff is if you lock one end of it and the thing can still turn. So that's your diff there. Moderately loose oil. Look, I'm a bit of an armchair tuner here. I'm still learning how to do this stuff. I've got a lot of cars I've been driving for a long time, but road-oriented stuff is still newish to me, and you'll have gathered that if you watch any of my track videos, the racing videos. This is fairly loose, and if it's tarmac tuned, like they've shipped this thing with tarmac tires, right? It's pretty loose oil, pretty thin oil. If you're going to tune a thing for tarmac, you want to harden your suspension up, reduce your travel, so there should be some set screws here yeah, there are some set screws here, so I'm going to guess it's 2.5. Yep. So what you can do is you can screw this down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see how it's picking up that wheel? See how much higher that wheel is now? So if you're running this for tarmac, I'm going to undo this. You'd bring these down, these limiting screws on all 4. Get the thing nice and low. Get it ready for tarmac. You don't want it with this massive suspension travel if you're running tarmac. So it's a bit baffling to me why they've got tarmac tires, off-road suspension tuning out of the box. Thankfully, it's very easy. You saw how easy it was to fix that. Very easy to change that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm counting so I can just return things to how they were. And also the suspension. Now, these are plastic shocks, plastic everything actually. And these spacers, you can replace the spacers and stiffen up the preload, basically pick it up. Now, if you want to harden the whole thing up, those set screws I just showed you, you'd screw them all in so that the car would sit lower and lower. You want to leave some room to move, right? So maybe just like that much travel is still ample, something like that. Some people swear by having your upper control arms level. Some people like to have the rear higher and the front lower because of the transfer that picks the front up when you accelerate. There are lots of ways to do it. I also see, actually, we've got a positive camber, which is odd. Is that just because the independent suspension? No, that's odd. I would want to bring them in a bit, but there's no adjustability for that. So that's one thing I'd like to change. I'd like to see turnbuckles. That's these fellas here. These adjustable little rods that you can change the length of with that tool. I'd like to see the top of that be able to make these links a little bit shorter. Because when you're cornering, see how when you corner the wheel kind of tilts out? Shorten these top ones and it'll bring them in by default. It'll give you slightly twitchier steering, but it'll give you probably better traction. I'm thinking, don't take my word as gospel, take it as just another voice from someone who is enthusiastic about these things but has plenty to learn. decent plastic A-arms underneath. There is a lot of plastic here. It's nice to see hex screws throughout. Yeah, look, I like this. I like the look of it. I like how it feels. I wonder what it weighs. The body doesn't really weigh anything. I'm just curious to see what the whole thing weighs. Let's find out. 2 kilograms. So with a decent battery, you're looking at about 2.5 kilograms. It's a decent little servo, plastic stuff. I've not had the best run with HPI servos. They do tend to fail in my experience, but this is a new car. And look, the smaller the wheels, the more on-road the car, the better your chances are of the servo surviving longer term. One thing I like about this manual is that it's got photos for everything. It walks you through all the steps. It tells you what to do. It even says some of the stuff that manuals don't say for various reasons. I don't know whether it's liability or whatnot, but I have many manuals for cars here that say nothing about running in water, even though the model's advertised as running in water. This thing doesn't only say it's water compatible, but it changes the service intervals for if you're running in water. It's got like a little chart, just like in a real car, that says how often all your different things need to be done. And if you're running wet, those intervals drop right off. So I like that this car looks to have been made and set up by engineering types. That's always a good thing, you know? You want the engineer to design the car, you want the sales guys to sell the car. You don't want the sales guys to dictate how a car is going to be made. And in this case, yeah, it's quite good. Now, this radio we've seen before, the TF51, 4 AA's, it's 4-channel actually. Channels 3 and 4 are unused. One is a press button and one is up and down. The radio is in this box in the back, and you've got some spare channels. Now this is very nice. It's just a Futaba style plug. It's lighting for the body. Now, we've barely talked about this body. The windows are not transparent. The wipers are stickers. Who cares? The mirrors are real. They're frosted, but they are reflective. Gosh, it's a pretty body. This looks like ABS plastic. It doesn't feel particularly bendy. It's only held in by teeny tiny screws, one at each end. So you crash on your lid, you're going to be snapping this first thing. This part is Lexan though, like the wing is Lexan, but the supporting arm is absolutely not. I didn't have to apply any of these stickers. It came like this. Some cars don't. We've got 2 LEDs in the rear and 1 in the front. The inside light's not being populated. And they come into a splitter box, which plugs in very nicely, and it's marked with an HPI logo and all, so it's even keyed, so you can't get it wrong. If you get one of these things, this is for street running. I'm in two minds about whether to put off-road tires on this thing, because the rest of this thing, it'll probably take it. Do you know what? We might just run it on the street. I don't really want to hurt it. And we'll take it somewhere where we can stretch its legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do the rear as well? I think so. And look, 4 turns isn't really that much anyway. I'm just trying to give it every chance to look good and go well. Now you might say, Craig, I wanted to see you run it out of the box as it was. Well, okay, I generally agree with that. But there's one exception here, and that is the manual here said, do a bunch of stuff before you run it. Take the wheels off, do the tuning, set it up the way you want it. And this feels more like an enthusiast's car. So, look, I haven't made that much change to the thing. There's still plenty of travel here. I'm not going to touch the preload ride height or anything like that. We're just going to run it as it is here. 2 things to be aware of. One is keep your wires away from that, which is why this is probably coiled, because this is exposed. Wouldn't hurt them to have a little plastic shroud over that, but anyway, it's done. And the other thing is it's clearly been made to run on sealed road, so let's just go drive it on some sealed road. I'm going to be careful with it. I don't really want to flip it. I understand it's got a pretty good reputation, but let's just see what we think of it. We're running 3S. Don't know if I should be afraid here. Jeez. I'm turning on. 1, 2, 3. That tells you it's running 3S. Let's have a look at these lights. Does it come with a gyro? No idea. Oh, look, maybe the lights have a switch. Oh, there we go. It's just on and off for the lights. Okay. All right, you've seen me make one change. That was those ride limiting stops. I'm going to make another small change. I had a look at this car before I got it on camera, just briefly, because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was saying to you. You know, I went to the optometrist, I paid for the glasses. Why am I not wearing the glasses? Okay, what I wanted to know was a couple of things. This is a minor thing. Brake lights, beautiful. That's nice. Now, the other thing I wanted to know was, is there a gyro? And I doubted it. I saw nothing about it, and no, there isn't. Wonderful. Now, the other thing I wanted to say was, the body clearance is pretty nice until you're at mid. It gets extremely close, and as much as I should use curved Lexan scissors, we're just going to use regular ones. I'm taking the tiniest bit off this corner, the tiniest bit. I don't really want to hurt the body, you know. I'm going to try and maintain that curve. I'd just like to keep that body from hitting the tyre, because it'll munch the whole thing and then make a horrible mess. If we can keep that curve going, so much the better. Not my best work, but now there's clearance all the way through. It's only about 1 millimeter at one point, but that's okay. You'll see the tyres go all the way into the guards, which is good. Yeah, beautiful. Oh, and being that it's a Hobbywing ESC, you can use a Hobbywing tuning card with this thing. It by default has 10% drag brake and a LiPo low voltage cutoff of 3 volts. That's enough torque. I don't want to hurt this gorgeous car. Yeah, let's put it on some sealed road and just see what we think of that. Now, no gyro, but it tracks beautifully. Braking is brutally good. I think we could have limited those A-arms a little bit more, the travel limiters. Braking is just wonderful. Like really, really good. Check this out, ready? Brake. Even on a bump. Turning circle is pretty tight. There's right and there's left, quite good. And that's how I lost a mirror before. Oh, dog. All right. She's not happy. Changes I'd make, probably pretty few, really. It bounces a bit for my liking. That's about it. We've hit some stones and bottle caps and stuff. It's been incredibly stable. Gosh, it's fun. You wouldn't want to try this on a really bumpy surface. I think you'd ruin the body in no time. And I'm glad I came here. Wow, it's fun. I wonder what it'd be like on a track. Let's see if we can do some... So let's have a look at these tyres. I'm just going to finish up. So just one run, I still haven't emptied the battery and we're already eating the tread out on the insides of these tyres. Yeah, I'd like to see that top arm a little bit shorter. But you know what, you can make a link yourself, make your own turnbuckle. That wouldn't be too difficult to do. Overall, this is a brilliant car. It looks fantastic. The one breakage I had was very easily fixed. We've done 2 tumbles and okay, we've got some road rash on it, but not much really. It makes plenty of heat. The motor is actually quite hot. And the ESC was warm and the servo was warm, and that was about it. This is a wonderful car. It doesn't need a gyro on the sealed stuff, and it's just a lot of fun. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Throw me a like, and I'll see you again really soon. We've got a bunch more coming here on RC-TNT. Cheers. All right.